So this is my Harbor Freight Sawmill that I bought 2 years ago, and it has paid for itself over and over again, especially when you consider how much poplar I've cut and used for different projects. But I really like the saw. It definitely needs a different blade. The one that comes with it is awful, so you need to get an aftermarket blade. I can put a link in the description below for what I purchased afterwards, and they are absolutely great. Price is right, and I'm sure if somebody sharpens blades and is good with that, the bands, you could probably do a good job with it. But me personally, I just bought some more, and they're fantastic, and they last a long time and cut super good. But I said all that to say this is not long enough for me. It did what I needed to do for the time being, and where it's at, this is just a temporary setup. Eventually I want to build a trailer that it goes on so I can pull it around and move it around, but I'm going to extend it. Now this angle iron is an odd number. It's like 2.5 by 4, or not even quite 4, that Harbor Freight sends, and then you got your tubing blocks right there. All of those, my local metal supplier did not have those particular sizes. So I've got 3 by 4 angle iron, and I've also got some other tubing that I'm going to use here. But I wanted to show you guys this pre-setup that I'm going to do, attach it together to lengthen the entire rail system so I can cut 15 to 18 foot logs. So this will be a little over 20 foot when it's done right here. And then when I put it actually on the trailer later, I'm just going to use this angle iron, and I'll get a 20-foot piece for one rail on one side, and then probably just go ahead and do that again, just 2 other rails, and that way it's easy to put together. But this is the first step in me doing this. Again, like I said, this is just a temporary setup here. Eventually I'll have it on a trailer, but overall I've been really happy with the sawmill. I have no prior experience with anything else, so I couldn't tell you what's good and what's bad. I can just tell you what this does for me and how it does it. This is of course a really old poplar log that's up here right now, but I cut a ton of lumber for my shop house that we were just doing temporary before we build our other house. We didn't want to rent, and so we built temporary living quarters in our shop house, which is right there, which will eventually be a shop someday. But yeah, I want to cut some bigger logs. I want to build some more buildings outside, and so in order to do that I need bigger posts, and that ain't going to cut bigger posts, but it will when I'm done. So just kind of show you how to get the extensions. From what I understand and the research I've done, I can't find any extensions for this particular saw that are on the market to be able to buy. So it's pretty easy actually to come up with the materials to do what you need to do. It's just a matter of, can you put it together and make it work? So we'll see. So here's what I'm doing. I got my rails in here. I got them all squared up. I got them exactly outside width to outside width of the sawmill as it currently sits. And eventually, as I said, this is going to be a trailer, or on a trailer. So I'm keeping in mind some of those things as I move forward and how I'm building it. But I mean, I can easily redo stuff down the road. So these are my tubing pieces. Obviously they're upside down currently because I just drilled pilot holes in each one of them on the edges where I can screw them to the angle iron. And I just did it with a little small drill bit to get a pilot hole going. And I just made me a little template so I could get them all exactly right every time as I, situated it on here. Boom, boom, boom. on this side, turned it over and went up that direction. And that way, as I go to put them on the rails, I can use the template also, and just kind of speeds things up. And but yeah, I'm gonna knock these out with a little bit wider bolts. Obviously I gotta drill quite a bit bigger. These are some bolts that I just had here at the house, so nothing special. But I think if I was doing this, you know, for looks, I wouldn't use a bolt so long. There's no sense in using one that's 1.5 inches long when it's only got to go up, you know, that far. But anyway, that's just aesthetics. I'm just worried about function. So this is how I'm doing this little project. I guess I should say the outside measurements, at least on my sawmill, was 30 3/8 outside to outside. I don't know if that's what everyone else's will be, but that's what mine was. So just kind of thought I'd add that in there. So there it is, bolted up, tubing on. I squared everything up just to make sure. All the bolts seem to be fitting fine. This is how it looks, obviously, as I'm putting it together. Matched up really good. Template did great. It's important, obviously, that you get this square. This is the butt end that will attach to, or maybe not attach to, actually, like firm attachment, but will be butted up against my sawmill. And so this end actually, this has about 1.5 inches more length than this half, but doesn't matter because that's the end of my tubing where the logs will sit on. So this will give me 20 foot, or right at it. Pretty excited about that. So none of this comes without a lot of heartache and painstaking measures. So you can see that the green tracks are actually not square. So I'm gonna have to pull those or loosen those up where I can get all that square again. And I'm just a little bit wide. I mean, ever so slightly. Oops. You can see right there that it's just ever so slightly, maybe a 1/16 to, I don't know. I don't think it's quite 3/32, but I'd say about a 1/16 off on the width. But as far as that goes, it's not too bad. I knew it was going to take a little work, and like I said, difference in the height right there, but I'm just worried about the rail, and that the log lays on, that it's level across all of that. And I do know that currently this one is about not quite 3/8, but somewhere between 1/4 and 3/8. I don't know. Rough. It's just a rough estimate. That's why I'm saying I don't know exactly, but between 1/4 and 3/8 difference on the height. So probably what I'm going to do is just cut me, like temporary, cut me some strips of lumber, and probably just put it on the top of this. I may drill a couple of little holes and just screw it down, because again, it's not going to last forever, and this ain't going to be like this for too awful long. So a very good temporary start. Train keep on rolling. So loosen the bolts on the rails for the Harbor Freight, well, the Harbor Freight rails, factory rails. I squared them up and be able to butt those up against that no problem. And then I also had a little bit of slack in there, so I was just able to line up everything perfectly with my rails. So, and it's not super critical that the rails be the exact width the entire way, because you got about a good 1/8 of an inch to a 1/4 inch of play with your rollers on both sides, so they'll work in and out. It's just important that it's all level. Coming together. Well, job is complete. Got everything straight. Got it all tight as far as my connection points. I made a little bracket just out of some scrap metal I had just to hold it tight together. See the difference in the height and elevation, but all that'll be fixed. It runs perfectly smooth on there, all the way up and down the old set of tracks. Watch out, bud. And I'm not cutting like super fine stuff. Like for me, I'm cutting big post like you see right there. That's more what I'm concerned with. I do have a planer, so if I want to straighten this stuff up and make it really good, obviously I can. But I mean, it runs just fine. Need to put my brakes on back here at the back so it doesn't slide off the back. But temporarily, I'm really happy with this overall. As I said before, I got to put some extra height right here on all 4 of those, but again, not going to be a big deal to get all that straightened up. He likes it. So that was it. Just so you know, I spent on all the tubing, which I bought a 10-foot stick of that tubing, and I bought those 2 10-foot sticks right there. I used 2 cans of green John Deere spray paint and 2 cans of primer to just go ahead and paint all this. And I've got $204 in all of it, and some time. But that being said, I've seen a couple other extension options that some guys have made that look pretty cool. But this is going to be on a trailer eventually, so yeah, that's all. Also, just a quick follow-up. These are the blades that I purchased. They're wood misers, and this is the part number, and they fit perfectly.